Welcome to the JLB Rapid Reaction Football Show. I am Kai Jones, owner of WJG Sports.
I'm also Kai Jones. I'm just kidding. My name is Lyko Bibi. Nice to see you guys again.
All right, we are here today to talk strictly football, give you some updates on what happened in Week 2. We were meant to do the show Week 1, but just because it wrapped up on Monday, we record our podcast on Wednesday.
Stupid rain.
Yeah, we didn't see the point of doing a football show when we were just going to have a podcast the exact next day. So we are here now for the Rapid Reaction Show, of course, and we're going to start with Striker's Game of the Week. Talk to us about it.
There were a lot of really good games this week, but I chose my Game of the Week to be Community Christian versus John Paul II.
First game of school history for
the Saints, yes. Yeah. For the John Paul II's in Greenville. They are the only 8-man football squad in Pitt County. They came out and they were ready to play from the get-go. They won 68-8 and scored on every single possession they touched the ball. The only time they didn't score was they missed a 2-point conversion. That would have made it 70. Let's see. They had 3 touchdowns from Devin Crumble, their freshman. He had 145 yards on 6 carries. Josiah Thompson got the first touchdown in school history on the first play from scrimmage.
See, that's one of the things I really love about 8-man football. Score. They just score and score and score.
Take the over. If there's less than 50 points total in the 8-man game, it was a really good game. Yeah. They had some really good, but there are teams that play really good defense. Yeah. So just to be clear, but nonetheless, John Paul II, they came out. Sean Murphy and his team came out and played really well. It was really nice for the community. The mayor of Greenville was there.
Nice.
I mean, had really good coverage from the media folks that we know.
Right.
I think
shout out WITN, WCTI, WCNC, NCT. Excuse me.
They showed out. They got the win. Now they're off and running on their season. They play Fayetteville Christian next week. They have Ethan Mitchell played really well at quarterback. He had a rushing touchdown. They had another freshman from their JV squad scored 2 touchdowns on varsity in the second half. Devin Clark who's the last guy? They had a third running back. Wallet was last name, but I think he had 2. I think it was 2 long rushing touchdowns in the first half. They were up 40-0 at the end of the first quarter. Yeah, and it was over from there. I mean,
shout out Pat Maloney. He asked if they were going to break the NCISAA record. Yeah, even though the NCISAA does not keep records.
Yeah, I mean, but the bottom line is it was a fun game. It was a fun night, and it's really good for John Paul II that they could be an 8-man football school representing Pitt County. Right. They're going to play teams like Arundel Parrott this year and Cary Christian and St. David's Faith Christian. You know, some of the good 8-man teams in their conference. But you, my friend, you had a kind of good game for your WJG game of the week.
Game of the week, yeah. The Wayne County Classic lived up to its name. It was absolutely a classic. 2 teams coming in wounded without their starting quarterbacks. And then Eastern Wayne's second-string quarterback got hurt.
Oh my goodness!
As well as one of their top defensive tackles in the second half as well.
Warriors can't catch.
So they were out there with a freshman backup quarterback, and they got the run game going, and that pushed them up to 10-0. Then Goldsboro broke back with a touchdown of their own to make it 10-6. Then Eastern Wayne got the ball back. They pushed it down the field. They got inside the red zone, and then a interception from I can't think of his name right now. Interception pretty much changed the game. Installed the drive, and it was one of those really great moments because he came down with it. Well, keep going a little bit further down. They don't score on that drive. Eastern Wayne gets the ball back. They score on a rushing touchdown.
17-6.
17-6. They go into the fourth quarter up 17-6, And they've got it under control until about the last 6 minutes or so.
And then things went crazy.
Yeah,
explain it to the folks, Kyle.
Deontay Hooker, the quarterback for Goldsboro, he gets flushed out of the pocket. He rolls to the left. He throws up a really nice pass to the left corner, and somebody comes down with it for a touchdown. And that's when Avio Smoka from News Argus came over to me. He was like, I take back everything I said. Because he was like, this game is over. Goldsboro hasn't moved the ball yet.
I mean, they hadn't, right? They really moved the ball for most of the game.
It was really pretty much a couple big plays that had scored that one touchdown. So he was like, other than that, man, they haven't been able to move the ball. He's like, but now, he's like, anything could happen. So Eastern Wayne gets the ball back. They wait. They chew off about 2 or 3 minutes on the clock. They get the ball. So then they get 4th down, about 1:30 left. I'm just like, man, what if Goldsboro were to take this back on a punt? And I said it to Avi, and then Wesley Case was actually just like, don't put that on us.
And Wesley Case was a great basketball player.
Yeah, great basketball player, and he's also on the football team as well.
Yeah. So
great 3-sport athlete who was actually injured that night. But anyway, Goldsboro gets the punt. They all, it took a bounce, and it was going to bounce back, but then a Goldsboro player picked it up and returned it to about the 40-yard line so about a 5 or 6 yard return. So basically saved them about 15 to 20 yards there. So then, boom, Goldsboro starts. They get a sack. Eastern Wayne sacks Hooker, and then from there,
so they're really up against it now. Aren't they?
Yeah. So the clock is running with a minute 10 seconds left or whatever. Goldsboro calls a timeout. Eastern Wayne says Goldsboro doesn't have a timeout. Goldsboro did have a timeout somehow. I don't really remember how that worked out. Anyway, so Goldsboro they drop a play. Next play, short pass, incomplete. Next play after that, they hit a slant, 20 yards. So they're now on the 40. The next play, they try to run a jet sweep. They get dropped back for about a 2-yard loss or whatever.
The clock's running, right?
Yeah, the clock is running. So they were at the 38, now they're at the 40 because the clock is running. It's like 30 seconds. They're like kind of walking to the line. I'm like, they're not going to get this off. They're not going to get this off. And then they spread out all 5 receivers. Quarterback gets the snap, and I see it. I see it happening. Like if you watch it on the camera, I'm like, oh, because I see Goldsboro's best receiver lined up one-on-one coverage. The quarterback just lofts it up. I'm like, oh, that is perfectly thrown. And the guy comes down with it. It's one of those moments, and he comes down with it. He turns, touchdown. He drops the ball after the touchdown. I thought it was one of Des Bryant. But
no, that would bad.
That would have been bad. But Dorian Rogers, he came down with it. They called him the touchdown. He was actually the guy who took the pick in that exact same spot early in the 3rd quarter to stop Eastern Wayne from scoring. Goldsboro goes up 20-17 with
11 seconds.
Yeah, with 11 seconds left. Eastern Wayne tries to put something together real quick, but Goldsboro, they stall them out, and they get the first win in the Wayne County Classic in 4 years. So that was the first time any of those seniors had been able to beat Eastern Wayne in their entire high school career.
Well, now we're going to go into a little bit of a lightning round session where we're going to talk about some of the other Week 2 matchups in the area. Kyle, we'll start with you. What are some of the games that caught your eye this week when you were out there?
Well, of course, I was at the CB ACOG versus Green Central game, and CB ACOG really just took advantage of a bad second quarter by Green Central. And Knowledge Branch, he, of course, went out with an injury during the second quarter. He posted on IG that he hurt his knee, so he'll be out a few weeks, but he'll be back. But Elijah Moore really turned that game with the interception return touchdown. Then a couple of Green Central mishaps led to another couple of touchdowns, and now CB ACOG was up 31-6. Of course, a team coached by Jay Wilson is not going to quit, and they came back and were able to score a couple of touchdowns to be able to get within.
What was it, 2 possessions?
Yeah, get within 2 possessions.
But when you're playing a team that's coached by Scott Brooks, the way they run their offense,
it's high powered, it's fast, and if you're a 2A school playing a 3A school and you don't have the bodies that they do, it's going to be very hard for you to continue to keep up. So eventually CB ACOG, they handed it to Tay Jackson for most of the second half, and Tay took him home. Yeah, he scored a touchdown. Yeah, he's huge. I mean, if you go and watch the highlights,
that's a big dude.
So there's this one play where he just blows up a Green Center defender who tries to go and try to wrap up.
Yeah, you gotta get him by the feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So.
But yeah, CB ACOG now 2-0 in the season. Green
2-0
Central
in the season. Hung 40 points twice for the first time since 2016 when they did it to Rosewood and Green Central. But they lost to Green Central that year. The last time ACOG has actually beaten Green Central was 2013. So it was just a big night of first for CB ACOG. Green Central, of course, has Zachville Smith. He went for 6 catches, over 180 yards, and 2 house calls. He is now he was one of the national leaders in week 2 as far as how he's played so far.
Total yards, yeah.
Yeah, he had some plays last week that were absolutely ridiculous.
And he had 4 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown in my first game of the week, which was them against South Central in the loss. But
the big pterodactyl, as they call him, has been flying.
But I know it's been kind of a rough start for the Rams. But they
got North Pitt next week. North Pitt is 0-2. They haven't. I think that they should be able to handle North Pitt pretty well, and I expect the big pterodactyl to fly over them freely. And of course, ACOG, they have just lost it. They have.
I think they're playing. Are they? Well, we'll figure that out in just a second. But you talked about North Pitt, Coach Brooks and Coach Wilson's really good.
Play Hunt. I knew.
It was Will. Yeah. It was, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was Hunt.
They play Hunt on Friday at 7 p.m. at home. Hunt, of course, is. Yeah, I fancy them over Hunt. We'll see, of course, and we'll, of course, keep you updated. Now, for you, you were at the Kinston North Pitt game yourself. Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah, it's a good transition. I actually talked to Coach Brooks last night at the game, and Coach Wilson was also there scouting his next opponent and a conference opponent at Kinston. But yes, as for that game, that's another game I was at on Friday. Kinston won 35-16 over North Pitt. Dimitri Helms, their junior quarterback, continued his great start to the year. He had 4 more passing touchdowns, 2 to Will London, 1 to Kari Pitts, 1 to Caleb Gooding, I think was the 4th one. They went back and forth, the Panthers and the Vikings. The Vikings, after North Pitt started off well, they got a first down, and then they fumbled the ball in their own territory. North Pitt kind of held them for a little bit, but on a 4th down play, Holmes goes on a go route right down the left sideline to Will London, and I knew it was open before the play even started. Yeah. So we'll put that on the board. And then North Pitt, they actually played a whole lot better than the score indicated. They came out and moved the ball a lot. And in their second possession, the quarterback, Alex Espinosa-Johnson, was able to gash them on a 38-yard rushing touchdown after they got a few little short plays. It's a triple option, so it's like 2, 3 yards, 3 yards. So you think it's not like much, but then all of a sudden, boom, 1 play. And then they scored a 2-point conversion to take the lead.
Right.
Kinston and then again answered another Holmes to London play on a screen play. They drove down the field, made it 14-8. The biggest possession of the game was the possession at the end of the first half. North Pitt drives and drives. It's about 10, 11 play drive. They get to the 5-yard line with 2 seconds left. Instead of taking the field goal, they try to go for the end zone, throw a pass play, incomplete. They get stopped. Kinston comes out of the second half. Holmes took Pitts for the 3rd touchdown of the night, and that was pretty much that stretched the lead. And North Pitt never fully recovered from that.
Right.
The bottom line is North Pitt looked a lot better than they did on Monday on a short week, which was really impressive. I was really impressed with Greg Wofford's squad, but Ryan Gieselman's squad's looking really good. And what did you tell me off camera about Diesel?
Giesel may drive the truck of that offense. You know, they've had some tremendous QBs and Dimitri Helms and also Kieran Hooker last year. Actually, last 2 years. But man, it just seems like he's been plugging and replacing, really. You know, especially when you got those great athletes outside. It's really just great to see how that program continues to find quarterbacks that can really get the ball to those playmakers on the outside.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Will London, man. He was out there every single game last year from that sideline, just learning and watching and waiting for his time, because I know he had some personal issues dealing with. So shout out to him for getting back on the field, getting his head in the books, and doing exactly what he did.
He's a great kid.
Yeah.
He's worked extremely hard. I'm really happy he had those 2 touchdowns.
Probably the newest player of the week, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. They did go with Dimitri Helms last week.
Yeah, they might go shout out to South and North, 63-0. We'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah, but just to continue to touch on this game a little bit, obviously, like you just mentioned, North Pitt's playing Green Central. I think North Pitt could give them a real good game, but Green Central should be favored. I know without knowledge it'll be tough to run, but they do have Aquarius Murray and some others that can carry the load and run the ball. But North Pitt looked a lot better. They play a gauntlet of a schedule. They're playing South Central. They're playing Southwest Edgecombe Conference. Like they already played Washington and Kinston.
Right.
They're going to be so prepared. And they're running a triple option offense. They just have to be able to maybe hit 1 or 2 pass plays here and there. But they were able to move the ball against Kinston.
Right.
On the Kinston side, we also got to give a shout out to their offensive line, led by Casey Williams as left tackle.
Definitely.
They have protected very well for Dimitri Helms throughout the first 2 games. But yes, I can go ahead and talk about South Lenore as well.
Go ahead.
South Lenore almost broke their school record for points in the game.
Right.
63-0 win over Jones Senior. They had the quarterback John Howard, who's a sophomore.
He came on last year.
And he's also a very good baseball player.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of really good athletes on their team, and I'm glad they got the win. They're now 1-1. Jones Senior obviously doesn't have the numbers, and it's been a tough start for them. But I really like Tyler Hale and what they're he's a real good guy. And I really want them to at least find some success this year in any way, shape, or form. I know it will be tough to do, but I'm still rooting for him to help that program grow. And how about the Northland Hawks? 2-0 on the season now after beating Farmville Central. I think they were trailing at halftime, or it was a 1-point game at halftime. Then they broke it open in the second half. Jim Collins and his squad have pulled off 2 wins here after losing all 11 games last year. And it's really nice to see that they're off to a 2-0 start. What about you? Do you have a team that's off to a 2-0 start? Another one?
Yeah, we have a team that is off to of course, Cleveland.
Yeah, of course, that's a good one.
Of course, Cleveland got Corinth Holders. Cleveland, of course, they got out early on Garner. And I think it was the high school OT game of the week or something like that.
Yeah, Garner's got a good team.
Yeah,
so the way Cleveland played,
Cleveland got out to them real quick. 5 touchdowns in the first half for Marion Hampton. I think maybe player of the week, player of the week at least. So
interesting. That could be a
maybe you should subscribe to the YouTube and then be ready to watch that story.
And you can go to WeDrillRaceSports.com/WP. Shameless plug season, baby. But Cleveland,
of course, Skylar Locklear, almost 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns for him. And then also the Rams DB shot them 4 interceptions on the game. So they beat them 53-38, I think it was, 53-33, something like that. It was just a big win for them, 2-0 now.
How about Corinth?
I'm about to say, then right down the way, Corinth Holders, they of course beat West Johnston pretty good, 31-14.
I'd like to apologize to Corinth Holders again.
Yeah.
I know I picked y'all this week, but I would still like to apologize for our standings predictions.
Hey, it happens.
They're not supposed to be right. They're supposed to stir up a conversation.
Right.
But shout out to Corinth though. 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 now. they have Clayton coming into their house next week.
Yeah.
Big rivalry game. Zach Adams, of course, he is a big Corinth Holders supporter. He told me,
alumnus, I think, right?
alumnus, really. He from high school OT.
Yeah.
He told me, he was like, hey man, the reason why it's so big between Clayton and Corinth is we go to the same middle schools, and then from there we split up.
So all the kids know each
all
other.
Friends, we all know each other.
But on the field,
it's a game. It's a game we all want to win. So next week, of course, Corinth went into 2-0, and Clayton went into 0-2.
That was a bit of a surprise. Well, with what's been going on with Clayton, it's not truly surprising. And with who they played as well.
With who they started.
That's a gauntlet. When you got to play Richmond County and then a Wake Forest team that lost their winning streak the week before. There's.
And then, of course, Clayton, they started up 10 points, and then Wake Forest responded with 42 straight. So next week, maybe Clayton will be the angry team coming in. And maybe
you never know. Crazy
but
things happen.
It's a rivalry game.
Yeah, so you throw records out the window. It's a rivalry.
Of course, it'll be a big contender for the game of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
But and then of course, when you look at that, South Johnston will also have a big rivalry game against Triton. That's their big rival. Triton, of course, has won the last, I think, 3. I want to say, if I look it up right. But South Johnston's coming off of a 12-10 loss to Grays Creek, and then this week they, of course, had a 30-7 loss to Holly Springs.
That's a tough team to play.
Yeah. So we'll see how if South Johnston get their first win in that big rivalry game. Then of course Goldsboro's going to play Southern Wayne next week.
That should be another Wayne County
that's
game.
another rivalry game. It's
a game both teams I think will get. And speaking of Southern Wayne, how about them beating James Keenan?
31-23.
The score didn't show it.
Be coming in 1-1.
I was going to say the score didn't show it, but the
it was 31-8, and then of course T.J. Edwards told me he's like they let up a little bit, and James Keenan got a couple more scores in, and so. But they still get the win, 31-23. Both teams coming in 1-1, trying to take supremacy in that rivalry. I think Southern Wayne hasn't won in the last 4 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
So kind of like changing, flipping the script right there. So see if Goldsboro can maybe keep it up.
Yeah, for sure. Going back to some of my teams.
Oh yeah, of course.
TJ also covers North Duplin, and a team that I covered that played them last night was the Northside Parktown Panthers. 2-0 on the season after winning 21-7 over North Duplin. They got, I think, Camden County next week, so if they win, they'll be 3-0 going into the game against Washington.
Right.
Of course, Washington kind of got beat up by Tarboro, and our man Reese Knight was right when he said he's kind of mad. He's like, you thought they were going to score on us.
Yeah, we posted the We Up game picks of the week.
Shout out to We Up.
For advertising and supporting us. We
And
posted.
Nick Oates did a great job with his interview this week.
Yeah, he did.
He was at Princeton?
Yeah, he was at Princeton.
Yeah.
But of course, Reese commented, "You think that they're going to score on us?" And then he also was like, "You think we're only scoring 28 points?"
He was 2 for 2.
Yeah, he was 2 for 2, and I had to let him know he wasn't nice. That wasn't very nice of him. Shout out to Washington still. I think they're going to still have a really good season.
Absolutely.
Just
it's the Tarbo T.
Tarbo is the Tarbo.
Sure.
Right, of course. And then Southside were on the road, right?
Yeah, they dropped a 48-34 loss to Dixon. Southside still, I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to be okay. Let's see. In terms of some
and of course, down the road, Beargrass Charter beat Arundel Parrott.
Yeah, an 11-man game for Parrott's second consecutive loss in an 11-man game. They kind of, obviously, like we mentioned in our previews, they did lose a lot of really good athletes from last year's squad. But I still would trust Matt Beeman's coaching. And they're going to be.
They'll be all right in 8, man. It's just sometimes the 11 man is a little bit harder just because you
got to adjust,
and everything like that. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different,
Yeah, in terms of more 8-man, Pungo Christian lost 42-6 to Northeast. Northeast Academy is one of the best 8-man schools in this part of the state. But Pungo is replacing. I think they lost their best player from last year, and they have a small team. So, but with their schedule, they could compete. You never know.
Right. Speaking of schedules to compete, Spring Creek gets their first win since August 24th of 2018 against Lejeune.
Go for Spring Creek.
Just hung 63 on Johnston last week before and got their first win to break a streak. So then this week, Spring Creek wins 21-10 to be able to break their streak. So both of those teams are now 1-1. Spring Creek is they got Rosewood this week, and that's going to be tough because Rosewood jumped on North Johnston this week, and North Johnston they came out. North Johnston had some injuries. Rosewood was able to take advantage of that, got up 18-0 in the first half. Ended up winning 44-26. And like I said, they will be against Spring Creek next week, while North Johnston will have to host James Keenan coming off of that loss.
To Southern Win.
Yeah. And of course, also, you talk about Princeton a little bit. Of course, Princeton, they got a big win over Granville Central, 28-24.
They're 2-0 as well.
Yeah, they're 2-0 now. 5 turnovers for Princeton. Of course, Coach Gasser is not going to be happy about that. But got the bye week. Jaden Brooks was absolutely huge. 91-yard return touchdown plus another 120 yards rushing and a touchdown for him. Coming off of a 2-touchdown game against Pamlico last week. Harley Bartholomew got 11 tackles, including one big one in the fourth quarter.
And like we mentioned, he was interviewed by Nick Oates.
Yeah, Nick Oates. Nick Oates, he is actually he's learning how to be a journalist. So be kind to him, people. You see him out for us, and he did a great job with the interviews and getting some video for us. Now
he's gonna do really well. I know he's gonna do.
Yeah, whenever he wants to do something, he'll get it done.
For sure.
But of course, talking about that game against Pamlico County, of course, Aiden Grifton played Pamlico County. And from what I heard,
they kind of woke up.
Yeah,
they kind of woke up.
From what I heard, Mike Webb had a big game.
I was gonna say Mike Webb is that man. He's a really good athlete.
Yeah.
Chargers now 2-0 after they beat Southside team in Pamlico County's conference.
Right.
Pamlico County they're gonna work through things. I know it's tough when you lose Lamont, Murray, and George Jones, and you also lose one of their running backs. That was one of the top running backs. Lovick went to New Bern with Coach Torrey Newell.
Right. Shout out to Coach Newell. He got a win over Havelock this week. First time they've done that since I think 2016, maybe even 2014.
Havelock now coached by former Coach Allen Wooten.
Yeah. Don't think Newell's going to be high school coach for in the next 5 or 6 years. That's my hot take. Unless he wants to.
I really have a hard time disagreeing with that because the work speaks for itself. He took Pamlico County to a state championship last year. New Bern looks like they're going to be somewhat of a force in the Eastern Carolina 3A/4A. And speaking of that conference, 3 of its members are in Pitt County: South Central, Rose, and Conley. South Central, for the second consecutive week, won by 1 point, 27-26 over West Craven, a very game West Craven.
I would just like to point out that I picked South Central 28-24 in my game picks.
Yeah,
that was close.
Yeah, good for you, Kyle. You also won this week. Yay, good job. He's gonna. But it was a very game West Craven squad. They're going to be really good. A tough team to beat. It's the Cardiac Falcons. They win by 1. They just win by 1. Rose also won this week. They beat Laney on the road, I think.
Right.
I think it was 28-21 or something.
Yeah, something in that range.
Conley struggled again this week, but they were able to score. It's just they could not stop the Rocky Mount Griffons. 46-29 loss to Rocky Mount puts them at 0-2. But Nick Connor's going to have those boys ready to play. They're going to be just fine. They're going to be.
That's tough competition against.
You play Northeastern and Rocky Mount. Northeastern and Rocky Mount are really good.
Yeah, they're both really good, so they'll be all right. The ECC 3A/4A is looking really tough.
Oh man, with those three, CB Aycock and Newburn, and even Eastern and Southern Wayne are going to be competitive too. Yeah. I think this is going to be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to break down really well. I think is that all our games now? Have we gotten through everything?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we got through everybody.
I'm sure we got through everyone. If we missed something, we apologize. But it's a rapid reaction show, so we're just gonna go fast,
Right. So now we got the game picks in. I won. I'm now 2-0.
So be on the lookout for Week 3 game picks presented by We Up Athletic Group.
Right, of course.
And then also check out WJG Sports Player of the Week. Kai may have teased it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're getting more subscribers every day. We really appreciate it.
Shout out everybody. We went from 200 to 225 in a matter of a week.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, so we're doing good. We appreciate y'all.
Of course.
Thank y'all for tapping into the movement.
You know where to find us on social media. I think it's going to be in the description. It's going to be under.
Yeah.
When you're watching, it's going to be under. Right there.
It'll be somewhere.
But you know us. You love us. Also, stay tuned to the next Just Like Those podcast. We're coming this week. We'll have a plethora of topics to talk about, hopefully. And thank you again. It was a fun week 2. Can't wait for week 3. See you later.